Okay.
Shall we start?
I think we can start the introduction. So, yeah.
Okay,
I couldn't hear you very well. Can you just, that's better. Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect. Perfect.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this virtual event. This event is called the Global AI on Tour event, which is a free event that is organized all over the world. That's why it's called Global AI on Tour event. And it happens in April, May, and June, and it is conducted by the local communities. So here in Auckland, we have a meetup called Auckland Artificial Intelligence Meetup, for which Leila, me, and Reza are the organizers. And today we are going to have three sessions. If you want to go to the next slide,
oh yeah, sure.
Leila.
Yeah.
Three sessions by Leila, Arafat, and myself. Leila will be talking about Azure Databricks, and Arafat is going to talk about how to build AI bots using Bot Framework Composer, and I will be talking about artificial intelligence capabilities for Power BI Pro users. So first things first, we will be recording the session and posting the recording. And we will be sharing all our materials with you later on after the session is finished. We'll be sending you an email with the link, and also maybe if we will share the link in the chat window at the end of the session. And also we will be having 5-minute toilet breaks in between the sessions. So yeah, now maybe, yeah, you can grab some water to drink or anything like that. Unfortunately, we don't have any virtual pizza coming over to you. So, okay. So maybe Leila, do you want to start off your session? Yeah.
Yeah, basically we have 3 minutes to start. So yeah,
Okay.
hopefully we can. We plan because of this situation happen. So we have more meetups soon, and we try to have it some more quiz and things. So we are figure out how we can now have our physical meetup as a virtual, and we can have the same quality. So it's kind of after the global bootcamp on December. This is the first one that we have. So hopefully we can have it as a monthly from now. And if you guys have any session on AI or something, just let us know. I and Indira are more than happy to have your sessions. And we can have it virtual. Even you see that we are presenting in 30 minutes. Even 30-minute session would be fantastic. And also, if you have any question, you can type in the chat window, I believe.
Window.
Yeah, so
you can
if you have
type
any
in the
question,
chat window.
yeah, type there. And hi, John. Yeah.
Hi, John. Yeah.
So yeah, and we kind of work on that. So maybe we have more meeting in near future about this. So as Indira mentioned, we will be share everything in GitHub with you. Also, the recording, I will share it. Maybe I need to work on that after the recording, and about a day after, I will put it there. Okay, so I'm going to talk about I'm the first person in this session as a 30-minute one, and I'm going to talk in 25 minutes and about between 5 to 10 minutes for the Q&A. So let us start. We're going to talk about there. So I think I know many. I can see familiar names in the chat. So no need to introduce myself. I'm Leila, based in Auckland. Indira, David, Reza, John. We are actually running the two meetups in Auckland. So one of them this one, and another is Power BI one. And also, yeah, so this is my email address, my blog area. I've worked on the AI and data platform for actually for about 4 years, 5 years now. I'm going to talk about Databricks. So what is the Azure Databricks and how it actually works? So Azure Databricks is an Apache Spark based application, and it's actually based on the cloud and it's based on the Spark. That means that it's really good to actually distribute the processing and is actually help you to increase the productivity, unify the process that we have, and integrate lots of different data from different resources. And because it's combined with the Azure, so it's kind of the secure one, is use the Azure Active Directory for the protection of the data, and you can apply a role-based security on that. So first of all, we have Databricks. Databricks was a company that actually founded in 2013 from a team from Berkeley University. So they actually built that product to actually have a combined with a different language, Scala, R, Python, and all in a one package, and everyone able to explore the data, create visualization, and do machine learning in a large scale and parallel processing. Now, I think in 2017 or something like that, actually there is a combination between the Azure and Databricks. So that's why we have Azure Databricks. So we have the best things about the Databricks. That is the parallel processing, supported really good for machine learning, ETL process, and stream analytics, and capability of writing combination of the language in just one notebook with the good things that we have in Microsoft products. That is about the connecting to the good data sources and security and everything. So it's actually a combination of these two brings for us Azure Databricks. So you will see that is we created very easy. It's not very hard to set it up. It's an interactive workplace, and in a one workplace, people from background of the data science, data engineering, data analytics can work with that workplace together. And of course, you can connect it through the other resources that we have in Azure, or for example, you will see that in the demo that I'm going to show you, you can do some data transformation, get data from different resources, and then pull back it to Power BI. So it's really cool, actually, resources that we can use. So as you can see, this is a kind of the charts that we have for the Databricks. You see that people from different major data science, engineering, business, and other roles, they can use it. Is actually you can use it for the workflow as a workspace, for the input and output the data, and also is able to connect to the different resources from data lake, blob storage, Azure Secure Data Warehouse, and also then you can actually import it back to the other application. It supports actually a couple of different languages. So it supports R, SQL, Python, and Scala. You will see that I will show you in the demo that actually how it can be cool to use this language. So going to a bit ahead, I'm not that much a slide person. I will share the slides with you, so don't worry about that. The one that we are going to see, actually, we are going to see how we can set it up. So I'm going to actually, I'm use my, I'm going to the home of the Azure portal, and I search for Databricks, and I easily just use it. So you can have it, put any name that you want. The only thing is that I found it kind of sometimes not working for the Australia US. If for the Australia one, if you want to create different clusters. So for now, I'm using the East US. I need to check with the Microsoft people why when I choose the location for the Australia one doesn't work. So to be safe, use that one. For the pricing tier, we have a standard one and the premium one. That's I use the 40 days premium one for this scenario. If you use the standard one, you couldn't connect from Power BI. But if you use the premium one, even the premium one or premium 40 days, you can actually connect to the Power BI. So that's two fields is actually, just be careful about these two fields. So what I'm going to show you in a demo that I'm going to kind of mount my blob storage to the Azure Databricks. Then I'm going to create a simple table inside Azure Databricks. And then after that, I'm going to import data to the Power BI. So we are going to look at it, how it works. So before that, let me go to show you the environment here. So this is my portal. So this is my actually my Databricks. So this is based on Azure. I'm going to click on the launch workspace. When I click on that, it's asking me about connection to the workspace, and it's going to connect me. And because of the time, so here is actually, you will see this is the main environment of Azure Databricks. We have different workspace. That actually is our area that we can work. So you see that if you click on create, you can create notebook. For people who may familiar with the Jupyter notebook, it's kind of same but has more functionality than that. You can create library, folder, even machine learning flow experience. You can import and export from a DBC, HTML, and specify the other things. Also, the other important things that we have here is cluster. So cluster is actually equal to the virtual machine that we have. So that means that for each notebook, you can assign a cluster, and that notebook run on that cluster. So here you will see that if I click on new cluster, I can specify exactly like a virtual machine that what the size of that should be and other properties. So I'm already created one. I'm just going to use that one. Just make sure when you want to use it, it's running. When you create it, it take about 5 minutes to start to run, and then you find. So I'm going to show you that how it works. Going to the workspace here, going to create a notebook. When I'm going to create a notebook, is actually ask me a name. So I put a global AI bootcamp tour, actually, sorry. Tour. Auckland. Here you can specify the language. This is a default language, but doesn't mean that you couldn't write other language there. You will see that. I'm going to put it as a scale-up one, but I can actually write other language that are in Python there. And here you specify which virtual machine or cluster you are going to use. Because I have only one, I just use that one. So here is the environment that I can write the code. I'm not going, because we don't have that much time, I'm just going to copy some of the code that I have and I put there. So just let me bring some. So first of all, I'm going to write some R code. Let me enable the zoom in so I can zoom it here. So here is a place. So we call this as a cell. You see that is a CMD one. So this is a place that we can write. I'm going to write in R language. To write that, I just put a percentage and R. That means that I'm going to write the R language. I'm going to use a very simple R code. So for example, I'm going to use the ggplot package, and I'm going to create a simple chart through the one. So I'm just click on that. Now at the end, you will see here, I'm able to run the cell. So this is a cell, I can run it. I can run everything from top to this cell, or from everything from this cell to the bottom. But because I just have one cell, I just run that one. It's going to connect to the actually R environment, and is going to create actually a chart for me. So this is a chart that I write in there. It's not a really nice one. So I said, okay, that's fine. I want to create my own chart in R based on the Databricks environment. So I'm going to actually do that. And I said, for example, I use the command display. MPG. MPG is a data set that if you access to the ggplot2, you will be access to that one. So you do not need to import it. Just run it. So the word display actually in Databricks means that I want to show the data. So as we can see here, we can show the data in a tab in the row table, that is the one, or you can set, I want to create a chart out of that. I say, yeah, I want to create a chart out of that. So I'm going to use, for example, a line chart. And it creates something for me. And I said, okay, it's not the one that I want. So I can click on the plot option. And here is a place that I can specify what I want to put for actually what. So here you see that is a class. So maybe I can set, I just want to see the speed of the car in the highway in the y-axis, and based on their speed on the city. So I I removed that and I said I want to kind of based on that. Sometimes it's a bit tricky. Let me cancel it and do it again. Sometimes it's a bit, yeah, so I said that, yeah, just based on that, you can actually specify that. It doesn't shows me, or maybe I choose the wrong item, but you can actually specify which of them you want to use here. So you can actually apply it, see the charts over here. So now I'm going to the actually another example that I have for creating the scenario that I talk about that. So I'm going to mount the storage account to the Databricks, then I'm going to fill it to put a table of the SQL table there, and then I'm going to import it to Power BI. So I'm going to create a new cell over here. I use the code to mount there. So the code that I'm going to use is actually a Scala language, so I didn't use any percentage. Here, this is a source code. I put the name of the blob storage, the account storage name, plus the access key that you can see here. These are the access key in the blob storage. So it's actually this code allows me to mount the actually storage account to the blob storage. So that's a one. I run it. And it's going to mount the table to this link. So I'm going to create a link like this, and it's going to mount all of the table that I'm creating here through there. So then in the next cell, after it's run, let's take maybe a couple of seconds. Yeah, it's run. I'm going to write a SQL language this time. So here you will see that I put the percentage SQL. That means that I'm going to create a SQL. There is a sample data set named radio sample data in a JSON format that I'm going to put there, and I'm going to create a table in the link that I have there. So this is the table that I have in the SQL. So you see that in the one notebook, I already wrote R language, Scala language, and SQL language, which is quite actually good. So now it's actually created. Just have a look on the data. I'm going to create a new cell over there, run it. So it's actually, this is my data over here. So the data is here is actually is format of the data frame. That means that is format of the table that I can actually import it to the Power BI. So now imagine that I do some data transformation here using combination of the R and SQL, or fetch the data from Databricks. And now I want to put it back to the Power BI. So how can I actually do that? You need to go to the cluster first of all. So this is my cluster that I have. If you click on the advanced options, you will see that under the advanced options, we have JDBC ODBC connector. So if you use the premium version of the Databricks, and you actually, if you remember at the start, I mentioned, if you remember from here, I mentioned that it works just for premium. And for now, in some scenario, it doesn't work for Australia, actually data center. I don't know why. It worked for the US one. I didn't try it for other location, but I know it has some problem with the Australia so I changed it to the US. Then you can see some connection here. So I need to create a connection string. So how Power BI actually connector? So Power BI, if you open your Power BI and go to the get data, click on more, you will see that actually if you search for Spark, because Azure Databricks is based on Spark, so we need to use the connector for the Spark. When you click on connect, it actually asks you about the server, so we need to create a link to connect to the server. We need to specify the protocol, that is HTTP. So let's go ahead. Let's see that how we can actually create that one. I will show you through the slide first, and then I'm going through that. We need to do some changes. Just before that, you see that here I have JDBC URL connector. But this is not enough. I need to do some change. The changes that I need to do, actually, I summarize it here. So as you can see here, let me open it. Instead of the JDBC Spark, I need to replace it with HTTPS. And also, I need to remove the green one. So I specified it with a green, so I need to remove after. These are actually the server name, so the host name. So these are the host name. After that, after the port number, you need to remove it. It's still SQL. Then is actually your ID, your protocol through that. And then at the end, you need also to remove the password and user token. We will give it in Power BI. So you do not need this, the green one, and this green area. So I'm just going to show you what I have. So finally, I have something like, I think this one. Yep, this is mine. So this is the one that I have. I'm going to copy that one and I'm going to put it here. And it's going, because it's kind of, I need to forget it again, is ask you about the token, is ask you about the connection string. It didn't ask me here, but if it's ask you, let me show, where is that? Yeah, here, if it's ask you, you need to put the username as a token, and it's ask you about the password for the first time. You see that because this is my second time, it didn't ask me. So what is the password? The password, if you want, you need to go to the, actually here, under the user setting. Under the user setting, we have actually, you need to generate a new token. So you click on the new token, it's create a token for you for just one, and that means that when I generate it, is actually you need to copy it right away. Otherwise, after that, you don't access to that one. So you need to create one, and then you full put it here. Because I'm already created, I don't do that. And here is actually I'm connected to what I have inside the Databricks. So this is can be really promising. Here I have a lot of questions from people. Let me back to the Power BI one that I have. That they actually because you know that we can run R and Python inside Power BI, but sometimes if you have a organizational gateway, we get some problem to publish to the web from R and Python inside Power BI, and it's getting very slow. So I always recommend, this is a kind of the another choice that we have. For example, if you have your data already in the cloud, like Azure SQL, Data Lake, or Blob Storage, or whatever in the cloud, you can do machine learning inside Databricks. If you have your own R or Python code, or even using the Azure ML automated ML code here, do everything that you want, and then push back the result to the Power BI. So this is a second actually choice for kind of use the result of the machine learning inside your Power BI over there, and then do the data visualization over here. So this is a kind of the very cool scenario that we have. There are other examples for usage of the Databricks. For example, there is a chance that you can get the data from Event Hub or from some streaming data set like Twitter and the other, and then apply whatever data transformation or machine learning on them, and then pull it back to the other application. Also, you can use it for the ETL process. That's the interesting part of that. So here you will see that we have a schedule over here. That means that you can schedule, you can click on new, you can schedule the process that you write over here to be run, for example, every hourly, monthly, or weekly, start from what time, and you can kind of set it up very good. So for the each process, you can set it up. So I'm not saying that as good as the ETL process that we have in other applications, but still we have that one, which is really cool actually to do that. And so there are lots of usage. I didn't kind of, you can define a job over here for the each cluster or for the each network notebook and run through that. So that's a quite kind of the big environment to explore. I couldn't explain it everything now because it's kind of getting the really kind of, it's not really possible here. So let me see that if I have anyone. Can you access the table in the Power BI if the cluster is not running? Still, yes, you can access through that, but you can access if it's already loaded through that. So if you want to get it first from the data lake and then bring it, no. But if you want, but let me check that one because I'm not sure 100% about that. Let me check, Stefan, about that and we'll back to you. Anything else? Any question? Any other question? Also, yeah, you can write in the chat window
or you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, unmute yourself and yeah. Okay, so I will kind of share the recording of that with you guys, and yeah, so I think there is no question about that. So we will put, I think at the end of the session, again, we will put the link to the GitHub here so you can access through that and download the PowerPoint. I will also share the code with you, so if you want to try, you can also able to do that. So we can have about, I think, 5-minute rest till Arafat kind of setup thing. So please just go grab your drink or just have a break for 5 minutes and then we'll be back here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, I'm here. If you have any question, type in the chat window or yeah, just be.
We are here, so you can
any
type
suggestion
or
also?
unmute.
Also, any suggestion about the meetup? If any topics you like that we consider more or bring a specific speaker, just let us know also here. You're welcome, John. Thank you. Yeah, that's good.
That's good, David.
Yeah, to have a few flavors. Nice. That's great. So, Arafat, are you
ready, Arafat? No, thanks, David.
Thank you, David.
Can't hear from Arafat.
And homemade vegetable soup that my delightful wife made.
Wow. Arafat?
Indira, can you continue with your session and I'll be presenting the last one, please? I'm
Sure.
stuck.
Okay, no worries. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
So we can just start in 3 minutes. So yeah, we can have a yeah.
So shall I share my screen then?
Yeah. Just let me stop the sharing mine. Yep.
Sharing. What am I sharing? Yeah. Oh God. Again, flickering problem. Why is that?
Oh. It's okay.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. Should be okay. Oh, let's hope. Let's hope.
Okay. Let me see what question we have. Thanks, John. Thank you. Up to we can kind of we can gather easily. We can gather. I'm not saying that we couldn't gather, but the problem is that actually we need to do some more distance and other things that make it a bit hard because it's a free event. So we need to have lots of more volunteers to do that. So it's a bit hard to arrange that, but hopefully soon we can have it in person.
Can you still see my sharing?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay. You can see the Global AI Tour, right?
I can see Global AI Tour, yeah. Power BI, yep.
Yeah. Oh, I need to turn on my video, right? Okay.
Okay, so
Know what's happening here. Right, okay.
okay, so yeah, we can
Shall
start.
we start?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good to start.
Okay, so okay, hello everyone. Okay, today my session is going to be about artificial intelligence capabilities for Power BI Pro users. So what my agenda is, I'm going to cover how to do clustering, text analytics or sentiment analytics, key influences, decomposition tree, and if you have some time, I'll go through the Q&A visual as well. For clustering and text analytics and sentiment analytics, I'm not going to use the cognitive services because it is a premium feature. So I'm going to use Python to do the clustering and to demonstrate the clustering and text analytics and sentiment analytics features. So if we start off with the clustering, I'm not going to go through what clustering is and things like that because it's just a half-an-hour session. So here I have a problem statement where the malls, how do we increase the sales for the mall going customers? The malls are often indulged in the race to increase their customers and also make profits. So this is the statement. This is the data set I have taken from Kaggle. The link is in this one. So, and also I have used k-means and scikit-learn algorithm. And so now I'll show you how I have done this one. So if you go to the clustering demo, I'm going to go through the clustering data that I have here. Okay, so here I have customer ID. Gender, 1 means female and 0 is male. Age of the customer, and annual income, spending score. Those are my main measures here. And I have already derived the cluster. Here, if you want to use Python, you can use Python in 2 ways. One is the Python visual here, using the Python visual script here, visualization script here, or you can use it in Power Query. What I've done is I have used mine with Power Query because I already have the data in Power BI. So let's see how I have done that. Can you see my Power Query window?
Not yet.
Okay, so I don't know how to share that. I need to share that. Okay. Stop sharing and share my Power Query. I think that's the Power Query window. Okay, so this is the Power Query window. So my source is CSV file that I have saved, and here I have promoted the headers and renamed the columns to, yeah, that has already automatically happened when I imported the data. And I have replaced the male and female values to 0 and 1, and also I think changed the type to integer. And here is where I am invoking the Python script. So you can do that from transform and run Python script. And the Python script I have here is I'm importing NumPy library, and also this is the code that I'm using from scipy import stats, and also from scikit-learn.cluster import k-means. The flexibility here we have is we can specify and change the number of clusters, whereas with Azure ML, if we use the cognitive services or Azure ML, to define the clusters, it will automatically define the clusters. That's what I think. I feel that this is more flexible. And I'm giving the labels for the cluster as the from the k-means label. And once I do this, it comes up with the dataset name as the dataset, and it comes up a table. So if you want to browse the table, and you can click here and browse it. So this will have the clusters. So because I defined 5 clusters, let's try. I want to show you how the visualization will look if it is 4 clusters. So I changed it to 4 clusters, and I'm going to make sure that the data set is run. It is taking a bit of time. And yeah, I think it's done now. No, not yet. Meanwhile, if we go into the visualization with 5 clusters, this is the data set that we are looking at. Now, if we apply the changes, it looks a bit messy. It's not the clear cut clusters. So that's the reason I changed it to 5. But I just want you to have a look at if
We don't see what you're seeing.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yep.
Okay, so sharing and share. Yeah. So this is the 5 clusters when I define 5 clusters. And when I apply the change that I have done, where is the, I'm still trying to understand the themes. Okay. So I have applied, and it should come back to 4 clusters. Refresh. I'm just refreshing the data, and let's see. For some reason, it's not doing the. Okay, anyway, so because first initially I had 4 clusters, now I have defined 5 clusters, and here if we, oh yeah, here it is 4, now it's 4 clusters, right? So here it is messy, and we can't see clearly what exactly because of the purple colored clusters coming into each other's regions. So that is the reason when I am going to go back into my Power Query and change it to 5 clusters. Just give me a minute, and I'll change it, and then okay, it's just coming. Yeah, apply changes. You can see this now, right? Clustering demo using Python. Okay, so see now it is demarcated with 5 different clusters, and this is more clear. So what does these clusters mean? So if we look at the red one, the cluster number 4, red one, what it means is we have low income group people, low annual income group people spending, having low spending scores, which is quite reasonable, and they are the wise people. And if we look at the green clusters, the cluster number 1 here, they are the people with low annual income, but they are trying to spend more. And the mall will not target these people, but they will not still lose them. And if we look at the blue cluster, these are the people with who have average income and also average spending score. So these people again will not be the prime target. The main target of the people of the mall people will be the higher annual income income customers with lower spending score. They will see they will have to do more analysis as to why they are not spending, even though they have high annual income. Maybe they are not happy with the mall customers. And also, if you look at the orange ones, they are the high annual income and also high spenders. So the mall authorities won't prefer to lose them. So they will be targeting them as well. So this clustering will help. This kind of clustering exercise helps the mall authorities to target who the customers that they want to promote their products are. So this is the clustering demo. So now when we go to the text analytics, this also I have done it using Python. I have here text analytics. I have done mainly the sentiment analytics part of it here. The thing that I have done here is took some of the comments that are there on Facebook, Microsoft BI, and then gave it a just took the comments part and analyzed that, and I use the text blob library here from Python. So here what text blob does is it has returns two functions, that is polarity and subjectivity. Polarity is the score that gives the between -1 and +1. +1 is positive and -1 is negative, and something 0 is neutral. And there is also subjectivity, which I have not used, which has values from 0 and 1. And 0 is more factual and more objective, and if you have the score towards 1, it is more subjective and opinionated. So let's see how I have done this one. If I'll just show you what I have in the text analytics. See, these are the comments that I have taken from Facebook. It could be messages or comments. And here, what I have done here, again, I'll show you again, I invoke the Python script from the query. So I'll just share it back again. Yeah. So can everyone see this? Oh, no, maybe not.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. I think I have to share it. No. How come? Share. And that one. Yeah. This one, right? Oh, that's
Yes, I can see.
This is not the Power Query one, right? Power Query window. I want to share the Power Query window. Hold on. Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah.
Power Query. Yeah, Power Query. Okay, so here this is the Power Query window. So here what I have done is imported I have saved those comments in a CSV. So I have imported that and then did the normal thing. And then again, I have invoked the run Python script, and let's see what I have here. So here, what I've done is from the text blob, I imported the text blob library, and this one I have imported naive Bayes analyzer. There are a lot of other analyzers as well, but I have used that. And here I am just using the polarity from 1 to -1 rather than I am omitting subjectivity. So see, sentiment dot polarity tells that it just to get the polarity, and then I'm applying that, and then again once the script is run, you get this kind of the name as the data set and a table, and this table contains the sentiment score and the text. Can you all see this? So sentiments is something between -1 and +1,
Yes.
and yeah. So after that, what I have done is I have added an index to the added an index and reordered the columns. Added an index and reordered the columns, and removed this column that is not needed, and also changed the type. And also I added a conditional column where if it is less than 0, if it is greater than 0, positive, otherwise negative. So this is where I'm using the plot. So again I have to share my Power BI file. Just give me a minute, please. Sorry. Power BI. Okay, so here, if we go to the demo part of my text analytics, I have plotted here. What I've used is the native visuals of Power BI. So here I have just used the column chart, which displays both the positive and the negative sentiments. So if I look at and also I just have a table here, so that if we just look at the most positive sentiment, we can also see what the text is. So that way we can utilize the Power BI native capabilities. And also if we want to see the negative ones, we can just click on that and then we can see that. So I'm just, this is the way I have done it. So you can use other NLTK libraries as well, but I used text blob. So that completes the text analytics demo. Now let's see the key influences visual. So key influence, there are 3 native AI visuals, if you have noticed or not. If you go to the insert tab, there are 3 visuals. One is key influences, decomposition tree, and Q&A. So key influences visuals is used when you want to see which factors affect the metric being analyzed. So if you choose a metric, what are the factors that are affecting that? And for this, I have used the customer feedback data. I'm going to use and show you how it is done. And I have read somewhere that it uses logistic regression with Walt chi-square test. So I can share you where I have read it. I'll share you the link. So now I will share. I have to again go back and share my screen with customer feedback. Okay. No, this is not the one. Okay, customer feedback. Okay. Can you see that now with nothing on it? Okay, so here, I have a company, cloud services company with some subscriptions, and I want to analyze. Okay, let's have a look at key. So I'm going to include the key influencer visual from here, or you can use it from here. And so key influences visual is a AI visual, so there is some intelligence built into it.
What
To
is that
start
called
off,
again?
key influences visual. See here, if I hover over, see, can you see the key influences?
Oh, there. So, there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, or else you
Thank
can
you.
see here, key influences. So this, so I'm a product manager and who is interested in looking at data about customers who are using our services. Now we have done a survey. Let's say we have done a survey, and this customer table here is showing the rating given by the customers. They have given either a high rating or a low rating. So I want to analyze this metric, this rating metric, to see what are the factors that are influencing the customers to rate, to give the rating as high or low. And there are the data that I have is the geography, where the region is, and role in the organization, and also subscriptions, number of subscriptions, number of support tickets, company size, and the theme that they have voted for, and things like that. So let's see how we can use the key influences visual. So here, once we drag here, we have to provide this visual with two metrics. Two areas. We have to provide data for two areas. One is for the analyze bucket, and the other one is the explain by bucket. So in the analyze bucket, I am going to give the field that I want to analyze on. So I want to analyze the rating field. So once I do that, what influences the rating to be high or low, because those are the ratings that were given by the customers. I want to analyze what influences rating to be low. And now I want to explain by whatever I can think of. So let me see, maybe I'll just go by country region, and also role in the organization. See, country region, as soon as we gave country region, it's France. And role in the organization, see, as and when we add more fields, it is going and getting the refreshing the visualization as per the newly added fields. And I want to also analyze by company size, which is in here. Company size, theme, and also subscription type. Oh, and I added it twice. Okay, I don't want, I think I have added subscription ID. I just want to add subscription type. Is this the subscription type? No, subscription type is in here, I think. Yeah, so this is the subscription type. Okay, so here what it is doing is it is saying that when the role, if we look at here, when the role in the organization is consumer, there is a high chance of rating the rating to be low. The chance increases by 2.57%. So and when you compare with the average of the other two other two roles, the average is only 5.78%. And also we need to keep in mind that this also takes into consideration the number of records, count of records. So if we look at if we just have a add a table of rating and also count of rating, and also what is this one? This one is role, right? So if we add role, So if we add roles, so this is for consumer, there are a lot of rows. So that's the reason it is giving more, almost 15%, almost 15% of chance of rating it as low. So that's one scenario. And the other scenario is maybe I want to analyze based on company size. What is the exact metric based on company size? So if I add that as another metric and also change that to a slicer, and I want to see what are the factors that are influencing the low rating for more than 50,000 employees. Now the factor has changed to theme is security rather than role is consumer. So now here security is more compared to the average of the others. And also you can only see, maybe this shows only show values that are influences. You can even just tick that. So that way you can analyze the key influences. And also now you can see the top segments. I'm just going to untick that. I want to see as a whole. What are the top segments? So they have found 7 segments ranked by rating is low and population size. So if we look, and the size of the bubble in represents the population size. So if we click on each one of them, what is the segment 1 consists of? So it consists of role is not publisher, and subscription type is premier, and theme is security. And here is the more information about it. So you can drill down into each segment and see what the segmentation size is or segmentation consists of. You can also change here to high and see now if it is high, then there are only 4 segments that it has come up with. So in this way you can use all the key influences effectively. So now that's the key influences demo. Now coming to the where's my other? Okay, so now I have to change back again. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have done the key influences part. Now there is another AI visual called decomposition tree. Oh, okay, I didn't change this one. Called decomposition tree. So when is decomposition tree visual used? When you want to visualize the data across multiple dimensions, that's when we can use the decomposition tree. So you will understand it better when I show you how it is working. So I will again reshare my screen to supply chain sample. Okay, so here I have the data of backorder percentage. This is the backorder percentage, and I want to analyze the backorder percentage of backorder by different dimensions. So what I'll do is I'll just click on the decomposition tree, enlarge it, and here also you have to provide fields for analyze and explain by. So what I'll do is I will do the percentage on backorder. Yeah. Now explain by, I want to put as many as possible. So I'm just going to put forecast bias, forecast accuracy, distribution center, demand type, buyer type, brand, and region, product type, whatever I can get my things hold, my whatever I can think of. Okay, so now here See, notice this plus. So this will, once you add the fields into the explain by and click on fields on the plus, you can analyze it by on any of the added fields. So I just want to try forecast bias, and so forecast bias, once it is done, then what it does is it gives the values, it gives the percentages based on the values that it has. And if we try to analyze what are the moderate over against demand type, it will give you what the values are for the demand type. So that way you can analyze. And also you can also do this one. You can, where there is a light bulb that uses AI capabilities. So if you go high, so it will say that the distribution center center B is higher than C and A, and it comes up with a light bulb. And what does it say? Percentage on back order is highest when the distribution center is distribution center B. So, and this also can be used in with other slices, which I can show you here. See here, there is a root cause analysis that is being done. Here, there average of back order percentage by month is given, and there are two buttons here which I have done, high risk and low risk. If we click on the high risk, here I have done the conditional formatting as well by going into this one. So it shows that percentage on back order, what the accuracy is, and the intermittent demand type. So if we click on the, let's say September, so it goes accuracy is between 5% and less, and also intermittent, and this changes, and based on this, as we change the month, it changes. And also, yeah, see in April, it's a different demand. So based on this analysis, you can stock the products when there is a growth phase, and when there is a declining phase, you don't need to store those. So that kind of analysis can be done, okay, and it is very useful to use this decomposition tree. Do we have some time, or Leila?
I think we can have 2
3
minutes.
minutes. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
2
2 minutes. I just want to show you the Q&A visual, the last visual in the AI visuals. So Q&A visual, if we just click on that, for the data set that is there in the Power BI file, it automatically gets you what kind of some suggestions. So you can click on show all suggestions, and if you want to know what is the back order dollars by brand, so it just gives you something. If you're happy with that, you can just pin it. Otherwise, if you're not happy, you can just try and say back order dollars. Okay, what are this is the sum of the back order dollars that is there in this thing, but I want to know by product type. Okay, by product. See, it's prompting you based on the field names. So I like this one, so I'm just pinning that one. So I'm just resizing it, and then you can use another visual to, let's say, back order by demand type, and then you can pin that and then move it that way. So yeah, so these are the, so you can do whatever it is suggesting, and if you are happy with that, I think you can just do a report without going through all the visualize, like it's like quick insights, so you can do that as well. This works in both the Power BI service as well as Power BI. So that comes to the end of the session. So
thank you, Indira. Thanks so much.
Now, yeah, next speaker will be Arafat. Arafat, are you ready? Or maybe, yeah, we'll have 5 minutes.
We can have a couple of minutes. So
yeah.
Also, we will share kind of slides of Indira with a link that we send at the end of the session. So yeah, we can have a couple of minutes. So till Arafat come, and yeah, in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, we can start.
Also, yeah, if you have any questions, let me know.
Yeah, great session. Yeah, thank you, John. It's great. Okay. So Arafat, are you kind of ready? Are you?
Just give me 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, just have your time.
Hear me? Can you hear me?
Hey, John.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Cool. Let's get started. My mic's stopped working, so no problem.
Yeah, we can start. Thank you.
Right. Let me just share my screen very quickly. So, can you see this screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
17th June. Yeah.
All right. So, cool. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for bearing this wait. Can we start, or are you guys waiting for something?
No, please go ahead.
All right. So yes, let's get started. Before I get into this is my first time I'm ever presenting to New Zealand's any user group. So a lot of people may not know me, but yes, I'll introduce myself briefly. So today we are having Global AI on tour, and I'm going to talk about building bots with bot framework Composer. So a little bit about me, as a lot of people may not know me. So I'm Arafat Tessin. I'm an MVP for AI. I'm a technical consultant at Wilrada. And yes, so if you want to find out more about me, you can follow me, or if you are interested in collaboration, working with me on the bots stuff, then here's my GitHub URL. Feel free to connect with me. If you have got any questions related to bots, especially Microsoft Bot Framework, I'll be very happy to answer those. So what we are going to discuss today, we have seen that there have been a lot of implementations of bots around the industries, and a lot of industry verticals have already started implementing these solutions. There has been you can say that there has been a lot of hype as well, but it's not just hype. So there are companies and big names who are really coming into this space and were creating their fantastic solutions. So what we are going to see today, it is not very strange, but I think that you will be able to get something really good out of this session. So let's get started. What we are going to discuss today is all about bots. So what are bots? Why are we discussing? Why do we care about them now? Then I'll talk to you about digital transformation. Then we'll see what is the Microsoft conversational AI spectrum. So what are the options in Microsoft space for bots for building conversational AI apps? And then we'll talk about Bot Framework Composer. So Bot Framework Composer is one of the latest tools which have gone generally available. This build, we'll discuss about that, and we'll learn some new concepts around language understanding or natural language processing, which will help you develop some awesome experiences. So bots are the new apps. As you know, that it has been said by Mr. Satya Nadella, who has transformed the industry and who has brought a really, really great positive change across the world. So if something like this, what you are seeing on the screen, is said by someone who is at that tier, so you can imagine that this is not something which is just a hype, it is a reality as well. So let's discuss what are bots. Bots are basically the services which are powered by rules that people are using into their conversational apps or any other apps. But in our context, we will be discussing only conversational apps. So it is considered as a new user interface paradigm. What it means that earlier we used to have websites, or before websites, we used to have emails as conversational interface. Then we had websites where you could go and see and communicate in a way with the business that so that you can interact with the business. So then we saw the boom of mobile apps, and every business got into this mobile app space. Now, what we see these days, that businesses are more inclined towards bots, and they are implementing their solutions around it to minimize their workload, on unnecessary workload, I would say. So this is considered as a new user interface paradigm. Why do we care about them? If you see these icons, you can easily relate to the applications people are using in their day-to-day life. So either for professional or personal purpose. And the reason for this is people like to have a natural conversation with each other and resolve their solutions, or resolve their problems by asking questions. So that's why these applications are, or these platforms are growing. And these platforms are bringing up those modules that can help you deliver everything within the same ecosystem wherever you are working on. Let's say if you are working on Teams, Microsoft is trying its best to deliver the best experience to Teams, so that you can do from booking a meeting to order a coffee, anything like that from the team itself. So the interesting part is what the tools which we are going to see today, or one of the tools which we are going to see today, or the Microsoft conversational platform is capable enough to build the bots for all of these channels. It means that you don't have to write separate code. You don't have to write complex stuff to make your bots available to all of these channels. So these are they will be taken care by one of the services which we will be seeing today. And to make it more exciting, with the love of open source community, so you can see develop, you can build and develop the bots for other channels as well. And those channels are Google Assistant, WeChat, Zoom, RingCentral, and Twitter or WhatsApp. So there is an open source community project, which I'm one of the part of that project. So if anyone is interested in that, the project's name is Bot Builder Community. It's on GitHub. We are working very closely with the people who are interested in building bots, especially with Microsoft framework team as well. So bot framework team. So yes, this is one of the flexibility of the framework, that it allows you to build the custom adapter so that you can expose your same technology to other channels such as Zoom. These are some of the statistics that bots are going to take you over very soon. So and you can see that these are these are the statistics which we are talking about, that retail and insurance and consumer products and other industries have started building up their bots already. So this is one of the trends which I have taken a snapshot from 1.5 years, and you can see that it's a worldwide trend. So you can see that people are, this is the search trend, by the way. So people are more looking towards bots, and it is growing by the time. So this is about it. And bots are basically the digital transformation asset. So you can improve your digital transformation strategy by implementing bots into any of these use cases which I have listed down. And these are just some of the use cases which came into my mind. So maybe surely there are thousands and hundreds of others as well. And the reason for that is business leaders believe that chatbots have increased their sales. So what do we have now? We have learned a little bit about the importance of bots. Now, what other tools do we have? We have in Microsoft conversational AI space, we have got a bunch of stuff. So from 100% enterprise digital assistant accelerator to no-code power virtual agents with the super strength of Power Platform, to utilizing the cognitive services, which are pre-trained AI models, where Azure bot service takes the pain of all the channels and of all the management of those channels, and just give you a point and click experience to enable your bot with those channels, to the bot framework, the underlying bot framework, which now supports more than 4 languages, which is the 5th one is Go now. So if you are from .NET Stack, or you are from Java, you are from Node or Python, you can build the bots for bot framework. If you are none of them, if you are not a developer, or if you are just a citizen developer, or if you are 100% no code lover, then you can always go for the low code experience for bot framework. So it's no code, low code experience for bot framework, which is by Microsoft Bot Framework Composer, as I said, discussed about it. So we'll be touching those this bit in my next few slides. So this is the overall conversational AI spectrum of Microsoft, and using some of those, or all of those, or one of those, there has been really big names who have built their fantastic bots. If anyone wants to know about that, at the end, I can share the names with you as well, that who have started building and who have already built their bots using those technologies. So let's learn about 3 main concepts, and then we'll go into the demo because we have got a very short time. Language understanding, this is the core of bot framework. So anything which you are going to build, even with the Power Virtual Agents coming soon, you will be able to interact with the language understanding. It is the language. So it's a core component of bot framework. It allows you to build natural language capabilities to your bot. It supports the LG format. So if you see on the right side, this is the LG format where I'm defining Lewis intents and entities. If you don't know about intent and entities, don't worry about it. I'll share some of this stuff with you, and I'll also brief you about that in our demo, that what is intent, what are entities. So yes, so Bot Framework Composer has got this built in, and it all auto train this model, so you don't have to worry about publishing your model after every training. So it will manage that automatically. This is very cool. Then we have got language generation. Language generation, what it does, if you see, unfortunately, my screen, the first image is very small. So just to tell you that in that first image on the top one, I have defined two sentences. So these two sentences are basically the greetings. So what it does, what LG does, one of the things that it gives you the randomized version of those texts. So you can see that it gives you the multiple variations, right? If it is giving you first message at the first time, then it may give you the second message at the second time, or the first one again. But the way why it does that, because it gives you a natural feel. So it gives your user a natural feel if they are using bots. And it also separates business logic from the presentation, so it is really cool. Then it supports the rich responses such as adaptive cards. We'll discuss about that shortly. Adaptive expressions, this is also one of the latest features. So what it does, it allows you to evaluate the bot's user input. As you can see from these from the two images that I'm converting, I'm taking it into one of the objects which I have created as my flight number, and whatever the entity has arrived from Lewis, I'm converting it to the uppercase. So this really eliminates the need of code. As you can see that in the condition side, I'm checking the length of the flight number. So it really eliminates the need of writing a code on the back end. So it is really cool. Now, Bot Framework Composer. Bot Framework Composer is the tool, as I said, that it's a visual authoring canvas. It allows you to drag and drop, build stuff by dragging and drop. It supports natural language understanding model. It auto trains your Lewis model. It can interact. It can also integrate it. It can also integrate external services as well. You can build custom actions for that. You can do a lot of new stuff, which I have not written over here, but you can also build skills for that, which can be connected to Power Virtual Agent later on. But this is not a part of whatever I've discussed this. This is not a part of today's talk, but if anyone has any questions about it, please let me know. No issues with that. So before we get into this, let's have a look at the prerequisites. So prerequisites are those which you cannot run without having, like, you cannot run Bot Framework Composer without Bot Framework Emulator. If you want to publish your bot, you can always go for the trial for Azure, and you can secure a trial and you can just play with that. However, if you don't have trial, I think right now we are working. Leila will be able to tell you more about it, but we will try to secure the Azure passes for worth of $50 to $100, I think. I'm not sure if it is finalized yet, but maybe we can get it. But if we get it, definitely we will be giving to the attendees who have joined us. So yeah, so these are the prerequisites. If you need any help around it, so I've written some of the blog posts. How do you publish it to Azure? How to build a fully functional flight tracker with the integration of Azure functions as well. So how can you do that using Bot Framework? And we'll be seeing in demo. So before any delay, let me show what I have in my demo. So this is the bot framework composer. I can install, by the way, before we discuss that, let me open my Visual Studio, and meanwhile I open it up, I will show you something. Takes little time. Okay, no problem. Meanwhile, we'll. Oh wow! I wanted to open this for you. So meanwhile, let's discuss about adaptive cards. Adaptive cards are a new way to deliver UI. What it means that if you can see this, I'm not sure if everybody is aware of, if anybody is aware of this, but it's been around here for a while now. These adaptive cards is a new way to deliver UI. As I said, it's a JSON payload at the backend. You can always create the fantastic user experience, forms, input forms, notifications, cards, and all that. So if you click on this, you will be taken to the documentation page of Microsoft Docs of adaptive cards. But I'll tell you a hack: don't go, like, you will always go over there for detailed stuff. But in order to quick start, you can always go to the samples. So if you go to the samples, you will see this is the card activity update, and you can see this the rendered version of the adaptive card. And you can also choose the dates and everything. So it's really cool. There is calendar reminder. These are some of the samples. If you want, you can also push your samples. This is open source, and people are collaborating or contributing a lot in this space. Let's say this one. So what I will do, if I want to modify this, or if I want to use this one, I'll click on try it yourself, and it will take you to the console over here. So sorry, it will take you to the designer experience, and in this designer experience you can see that we have got Outlook actionable. So it means that it is supported in Outlook, it is supported in Teams, it is supported in bot framework, other channels, it is supported in Cortana skills and other stuff, and Windows notification as well. So you can build those. It is very simple. It's a JSON, as I said, and if you don't want like to mess up with JSON, you don't have to do it, because these is all drag and drop experience, and it's really cool. Coming to the other part of the URI is language understanding. So before I tell you about this, let me run this function so that I'll explain this in a bit, because it will take some time to execute Azure Simulator. So language understanding, you can see that what is language understanding? It allows you to build natural language conversational interfaces. It allows you to infuse natural language capabilities into your applications. So if a user says book me a flight to Cairo, you will be seeing this JSON response. If you say order me 2 pizzas, you will be seeing this. So how do you see this? You have to create an app. You will go over here, you will create an app. I have already created an app, AMA Bank. So what is intent? What is entities? What are entities? Intent is basically the intention of the user, which you will get from as an utterance, as a message. So if you get this message that I want to transfer $5,000 to Arafat's account, it means that the intention is to transfer the funds. And Arafat's account is an entity, which is a noun. So I have defined two intents, and within those intents, I have labeled the entities as well. So it's a very simple experience. You can go and create from all from this graphical UI. You don't have to go any of the CLI or create that. However, you can always export this application. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about that in just 5 minutes. So yes, so this is how I have already given my utterances. So you can see, and by the way, if anyone has any questions, you can unmute and you can ask me, no problem about it. Or you can write it in the chat window and Leila or anyone can tell me because I'm not able to see the chat.
Oh, thank you. Sure. So far, no questions.
Okay.
But we will wait. People may have some. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, Arafat.
No problem. So yes, so this is the intent which we have defined utterance. So I can also always define more utterances. So if I say similar sentence that how much left in my bank account, my current account, because I'll tell you why I'm writing this. So as you see, as soon as I write it, because it's this is built under machine learning model. There's a ML model on top of that. So it is automatically detecting that this whole box is of account type, and this particular current is the current entity, which is a sub entity. So I just have to label it. So it has already given me a suggestion and I just have to label it, right? So if I just drag it, and it gives you a drag and drop experience as well. So you can just drag it and make an account over here. I don't know why it is not dragging. However, it allows you to drag it. And these are the entities I've defined. So I've defined an entity account and it has got some sub entities. Now we have defined a new utterance, so we can train it again. This training is done by a bot framework composer inside it. So we'll talk about that in a bit. I'll just give you a small test. So let's say, what's the balance of my account? This is just a testing console. And if you see that as soon as I have written what's the balance in my account, it gives me check balance intent as the recognized intent. And you can see that it has given me this, but it has not detected any of the entities because I have not provided any current or saving. So now let's go back to the real stuff. This is the bot framework composer. It comes with the desktop client, so you don't have to worry about anything. You just go and download it. I have created 2 bots for you. So one bot is AMA Bank. It's a very simple bot. So instead of doing this, let me create a very simple one from scratch. So it's hello from. So this is my bot, hello NZ. When I create this bot, I will see this greeting conversation already created, right? So let's run what does it mean? So I'll start this bot. It will try to load and it will try to build a couple of things on the back end. And once it is done, then what it will do, it will give us a button over here to test an emulator. So it is not responding right now. Let's wait for that. Meanwhile, yes, so for the first time, it will take time. So don't worry. Then we will click on test in emulator. And as soon as I click on test in emulator, so yes, now it has given me empty bot sample. Okay, where this message is coming from. So you see that it says send a response. So it is calling some template. We'll talk about it in a bit. So I'll say hello from. So now, if I click on restart, what it will do, it will recompile it again. And since I've already opened, I'll just refresh it. Now you can see the different message. And if I click on restart again and again, it will give me a different messages. So same template, same section, but different messages. It means that you can define multiple variations of one response, and it will give us some good look, some good feel to the customer. So if, let's say, going back to our bank bot, if I have to create a bank bot, what I will do, I will just go over here, add a new trigger, which is the trigger of my balance, check balance. So you see, how can you write this? How can you write a trigger? So if I click on, come over here, and if I write transfer funds, this is my intent name as I have defined in my Lewis. So this is my bank Loo file. How do I get the Loo file? I can go over here and I can export this Loo file by going over here. So if I click on this, if I click export, I can forward this is Loo file. So this is the LU format and LG format, right? So there are different formats. So what I've done, I've come over here. This is my transfer funds. I'll just copy these because transfer fund is already there. I'll just copy over here, click on submit. Now, what happens if the intent is recognized? What happens if intent is recognized? I want to call a new dialog. So I will go and I will call a new dialog. I don't have any dialog for transfer dialog. Right, I'm in transfer dialog now. It has been created. So I will just say, this is my message, right? Now, as soon as I click start, it will start. Oh my God. So I will have to apply, provide my new Lewis key. So what I can do, I can either go over here or go to Azure. So I'll go over here and I'll go to my manage and I'll go to my Azure resources and I'll copy this. So as soon as I copy it started publishing it, right? So it is publishing a new app, and the reason for that is I have changed a couple of things in after exporting it, so it won't recognize that app which I have created on Lewis. So then what's the use of creating it on Lewis? No, it can't do that. You have to define it inside the template. I will show you inside the second settings. You can do that. So this is the settings. It is publishing, so that's why it will take some time. Sorry about that. My PC is very So once it is published, then it will give you an OK screen. I think we should try it again. So I'll kill this. I think it's because my PC is going nuts. So what framework? Okay, let me see, show you a bot which I've created as a flight bot, then we'll wrap up because I know that we are running out of time. Apologies for that. So do we have any questions? Meanwhile, if anyone has any question, we can answer that.
So no questions so far. Yeah, thank you.
Very good. So this is the airline bot which I've created. I hope that it works, depending upon what we have seen so far. Doesn't seem to work. So yes, I have now. I'll click on test emulator. This is just to show you the experience of what I have built so far. So it will give you a message where these messages are defined. These messages are defined over here. So this is the template, as I said, that you can define those templates over here. So this is the template. Welcome user. I've defined it over here. I'll be a little quick, and then we'll come if you have got any questions. So it has got Lewis powered. So I will say that I want to track a flight from, let's say, 80999. This is my flight. Sorry. So this is a flight. This is a flight number. So I want to track a flight 18999. So this is the adaptive card, right? What we are seeing is adaptive card. I've modified a little bit. This is the static image, so don't worry about it. If I say that, hi, hello, I want to track a flight from Sydney, let's say. So it will ask me for the destination, because our use case is defined in this way, that if I get a flight number, it will show you the flight details. If I don't get the flight number, then it should have destination and source. If either of them is not there, then it will ask you. If none of them is there, then it will ask you for the flight number. So I'll say Melbourne, and then as soon as I define Melbourne, it will work like this. If I say, hi, I want to track a flight, if I don't give any number, it will ask me for the number. If I say AZ 847, so you will see that 8Z47. So it is powered by Lewis now. And how can you see the trace of Lewis? You can also see the trace of Lewis from here, right? That there was no entities detected. So if you want to go back, and if you want to see the previous ones, like this one, and it has detected the flight number as 8999. I have also built something new, something more into that. And if I say, I want to track, and it will say, what's the destination? And if I say help, so instead of showing me the help destination, it will not consider it as destination, which is help. It will consider it as something else has been triggered. Why? Because I have defined help as one of the triggers, right? And if anything similar to these messages have been written, it will detect that, Composer detects that the intention is to fire this dialog. And once the dialog is there, when I go to the dialog, I'm just firing up whatever is written in the help section. So now, just to show you how I've done this, so this is my whole conversation layer. So you can see that this is how I've built it. This is nothing but the a bunch of conditions, if and else, and other parts, asking questions, answering questions. I've also wanted to show you, but it will take a lot of time, so I'll skip that.
Thank you.
You can also just connect the external service with that as well. So by going over here and defining the HTTP methods, but let's wrap it up over here. If anyone wants to see this, how I've done the integration as well, I've written a blog post, and you can see that in that blog post I've defined how can you do that. So this is some of the links for you to learn. And if you have got any questions, please let me know.
Thank you. That's great.
I have one question, Rahmat.
Yes.
So how is the data of the flight tracking? How is it getting? Are you providing some kind of?
So right now, yes, good question. So right now, what I've done, this is calling my adaptive card. It has where it is defined. It is defined in the same over here, and this is the hard coded stuff right now. But okay. Yeah, this is the hard coded stuff. This is just the method. Yes, but I'm populating it in a way that if I call a function over here, it will automatically override this and show you that. Same is the case when I provided the Lewis flight number, different flight number. So it has shown me a flight number, right? Otherwise, it would show you AB123.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay.
Yes. Any other question?
Not in the chat window. So thank you. So Arafat, could you please make the PDF of your slide and send it to Indira so we can share it with attendees, and also we will share with them the recording at the end of the session.
Definitely, yes, I can do that. No problem.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. Thank you. That's actually it's great to see people here. And anything from Indira? How about you?
Yeah, I think it was a good one.
Yeah, it was a really good one. And yeah, so we hope have another one very soon. Thanks so much, Arafat. Thanks so much, Indira. Thanks so much, everyone coming along. John, David, and many people. I can see the name there. I hope that we see you soon in other sessions. So thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. So I'm going to end the session if there is no question. Have a good evening. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank John. Thank you. Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
John?
Hey, David.
G'day. Do I call you Professor now?
No, I just
That's the next step.
yeah, just call me a researcher.
No worries.
So how are you? All good?
Yeah, pretty good. Been doing some more painting today. Got a little frustrated on my fancy laptop. The camera's not working, so I use a USB camera, but it's okay.
So you're still working at home?
Sorry?
You're still working at home, or?
Yeah, I've always worked at home for the last 5 years anyway. So for me, working from home's no biggie. Okay.
I get used to work at home. I don't want to go to office anymore. I don't know why. I just
If you work from home, it's easier. As long as the family's not too loud, eh?
Yeah, you're right.
That's okay. Have fun. See you later.
Okay, see you later. Have a good one.